I started supporting Chelsea because I was in the pictures with like Mikael. And the moment I started following him, I was like, Chelsea is my team now, man. But they were telling me, you've reached 18. Some players, they've already made their debut. The moment I heard that Heerenveen wanted me, I was so happy. But I knew it's not over yet.
How did you find out that you had earned your pro contract?
The coaches told me, we would like to have a talk with you. So I was like, okay, I hope I'm not in trouble. I didn't do anything bad, but you just start thinking, why does he want to talk with me? Then he was like, the club have decided to offer you a contract. And I was like, wow. Once you're getting money, you need to deliver because it's not a joke anymore.
You were part of the Nigeria under-20 setup.
Yeah, that time for me was a very proud moment. Sometimes God just has his way that it works.
You scored your first goal. How did you celebrate?
Well, my celebration was so bad. Everybody was just texting me like, okay, the goal is nice, but you need to work on your celebration.
What would you say has been the highest moment of your career?
I think...
Do you believe that you can get to play for the Super Eagles?
No, I think I'm ready now at the moment.
Messi or Ronaldo?
I hate this question, man. I'm a Ronaldo fan, but...
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you be watching or listening to us from. My name is AyoT, and this is EaglesTracker of Nigerian Football Podcast. As always, with me, I have a special guest. This time, he is a player for Almere City in the Netherlands. He's a defender, and he's someone that I'm excited to talk to you and for you guys to get to know more about today. His name is Hamdi Akujobi. Hamdi, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm doing good, and you?
I'm very well, thank you. So today we want to get to know you a bit better. We want to connect with you. We want to tell your story, and of course, we want the fans, the audience, to just to feel more of you and have an understanding of who you are, both as a person and as a football player. But before I get into the conversation about football, I always like to ask my guests, how are you? How is your health? How is the family? Because those are the things that are most important.
Yeah, first of all, we thank God everyone is doing fine. I'm doing good as well, being healthy, playing my games. So I'm happy. That's the most important thing.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Happiness is very important, so I'm glad
Sure.
to hear that. Okay, so let us talk about you. Before we get into Hamdi, that is the professional football player today, I mean, we all started as young children. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I was born in the Netherlands, Rotterdam. Uh, I was growing up playing football. Like I started at very early age, just kicking the ball around, enjoying my life, not thinking about any crazy stuff, just enjoying my life. And then eventually, my dad just put me into a club. I did well, and then I enrolled into the youth of Feyenoord Academy. Played there a couple of years. Then I had a small injury, like the growing injury of my knee. Went back to a neighborhood club with just some friends and some neighborhood guys. And eventually, I always say your talent and your hard work will pay off because I've been working hard as well, even though I was not sure if I could come back like on the same level or better because of the injury. But I did my best. And as I said, I just thank God for the opportunity I got and I took it.
Oh, no, amazing. And I mean, you said your dad put you in a club. So did you come from a sporting family? Did any of your siblings play sports? Did your father play sports? How was that?
Yeah, my dad used to be a striker before, so it was more easy for me. Yeah, he knew the game in and out. He just playing with me. But I think the most important thing for me and also for my dad was that I'm just enjoying the game. It was not a must for me to play football. He said like you need to have the passion and the mindset and everything to play the game. And I'm happy that I think he's happy as well
Oh,
that
amazing.
everything moved the way went.
No, amazing. Because I mean, what you said is very true. I mean, they always say you can force the horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink. If no matter how much you love football as a parent, if your child does not have that internal desire or passion, you can't, but I'm sure your dad is happy that you're able to take it up. So what would you say, growing up as a young boy playing football at that age, it's not that serious. You're just enjoying yourself. You're enjoying playing with friends. What was your first memory in which, maybe somebody told you that you were special, or somebody told you that you can really go all the way to becoming a pro?
Oh, yeah, I think it really started early actually. As I said, at a young age, I rode into the Academy of Feyenoord. Everybody already saw like the potential that I had. I still had to fulfill it though. But I think at that age, everybody was already telling me that I'm a special player. I have something extra, and from that moment out, we just started to work every day and night, just to try to fulfill my dream. Because um, when I was asked, even in school, what do you want to be? The only thing in my head was just to be a footballer.
I can imagine. No, that is incredible. What team did you support? I mean, you grew up in Feyenoord, so was that your childhood team?
It was, but funny enough, I started supporting Chelsea. Why? Because there was a on a 20 tournament in the Netherlands, and Nigeria was participating as well. They came into the final and lost against Argentina. And I will later on send you the pictures. I was in the pictures with like Mikael and that it was that selection. And the moment I started following him, I was like, Chelsea is my team now, man.
And who were the players that you really like looked up to, growing up? Who did you try to model your game after?
Funny enough, it was mostly the Brazilian players.
Oh,
Of course, everybody looked at Ronaldinho, but a player that really caught my eye at that moment growing up was Robinho.
Robinho was a talent.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy, Robinho. And I think later on, when I got more mature, I started looking more at Dani Alves.
Were you always? I mean, you said you liked Robinho. So did you play as a striker when you were younger? How did that? How
When,
did you
when
get?
I was younger, I used to play everywhere, actually. When you're kids, you're just running up and down, seeing where the ball is going. Beginning, I was starting as a striker, winger, and then later on, played in the midfield and in defense. So I've played actually everywhere.
Hmm. They always say that when you see fullbacks are usually failed wingers. That's the thing that people say.
No,
Do you think that is the case?
no, I'm not sure that's the case, to be honest, because I think I've always had the talent to defend.
Hmm.
Um, I just loved attacking. I just loved it. It just gives you a different kind of joy, scoring a goal or giving assist.
Okay. And did you play any other sports growing up, or was football the only thing that you were really interested in?
Actually, I didn't. I didn't play any other sports. I was just playing football. My head was just by playing football. Even if you give me a basketball, I'll just shoot the ball.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So you were laser focused on football the entire time.
Laser focused on football, yeah.
Okay. So now you said you had joined Feyenoord Academy and then you got an injury. So when you got the injury, did you have to leave the academy? So how was that for you? Like as a young boy, everybody's telling you that you're so good, you're special. Then you get an injury and you have to get away from the academy. How did you recover from that and get back on the track?
It's actually hard because you start to get doubts about am I able to make it, and yeah, it's not easy seeing yourself. You cannot play. I didn't play for like a full season, maybe longer. Um, and like even walking up the stairs, it was hurting my knees. Going every time to the doctor, they'll tell you like maybe the pain will go away once you turn 21. I was like, "Pooh, 21. This is it's going to be a long time." But the moment I started feeling better, like also training less because at a young age in Feyenoord, we're training 3, 4 times in a week, and I'm still a kid actually, going to school, this and that. I think maybe for my body at that time it was a bit too much.
Mm.
So going back to my neighborhood club, Spalan 20, I reduced the training hours in the beginning, and then later on I added like by doing like extra training for myself, training with my dad. I used to train a lot with my dad. And eventually it paid off.
Did you join the youth team of Heerenveen?
True.
So kind of how did that come about, and how did that help you to get better as a football player?
Who yeah, it's actually funny because I was already 18 when I was still playing amateur, but that was the season that I was like feeling good again. Even the years before, there were some clubs that were informing about me, but my parents were really strict on my health. You know, they want to push me into something, and then come back again. Like they were like, okay, you know, your mental health is also important.
Mm,
But that was the year that I was doing good, investing in my body, also training extra. And then some people, I remember they were telling me, you know, you have reached 18. Some players they've already made their debut. Um, but my resilience, I think they helped a lot. The moment I heard that Heerenveen wanted me, I was so happy. I was so happy, but I knew it's not over yet. You know, it's just on the 19th of Heerenveen, and I need to make my debut for the first team as soon as possible. So I think the first year joining the under 19s helped me a lot. Also, comparing myself with better players, playing in a better league. Um, I think I really did well actually, and
mm,
within 1 year, I joined the first team, made
mm.
my debut, and things go forward from that point.
Yeah. I saw that you signed your first pro contract with them in April 2019. So how did you find out that you had earned your pro contract? After coming back from your injury, signing for their U19 team, how did you find out that you were now a pro?
It was actually after a match away against FC Utrecht, and then the coaches told me we would like to have a talk with you, and my dad was there as well because he's watching every game, home or away, and so I was like, "Ooh, okay, I hope I'm not in trouble because I didn't do anything bad, but you know, you just start thinking, why does he want to talk with me?
Mm,
And then he was like, really like the way you have developed yourself. We think you have a big future in this club. I was like, okay, okay. And then he was like, the club have decided to offer you a contract. And then my eyes just opened. I was like, now the work is actually going to start now because um, once you're getting money, you know, you need to deliver because it's not a joke anymore. It's never
yeah.
been a joke, but it's a different case now.
How did you celebrate? What did you do after you guys left that meeting? How was that?
Just looking at my dad, like not in disbelief, but like we're actually just proud and happy. And I think we bought some food and celebrated with the family. And then once I actually got the money for my first contract, I gave my mom some, gave my dad some, and then I invited my friends to eat somewhere out. And that's just because I also had a lot of help from my friends and family. You know, they
Oh,
were through the whole process, always believing in me. So
oh.
I'm just
Would you
grateful.
say, I mean, you've mentioned him throughout the conversation so far. So would you say your dad was the primary reason and the primary person that helped you to get to becoming a pro footballer?
100% without a doubt.
Amazing. I mean, that's something that when I speak to a lot of Nigerian football players, that's something that a lot of people did not really get that support from their parents. Especially, I mean, it's usually mostly with those that are born in Nigeria, to be fair, because growing up in Nigeria, conditions are not so easy. So your parents just want you to go to school. They don't really believe that football is a career that you can pursue. Because, I mean, the reality of it is there's so many people that play football and not that many people can actually make it pro. So they usually feel like why would you be the one that will now somehow make it pro? No matter how good you are, they just never really fully believe. But it's glad to hear that your dad really supported you like that and you guys were able to share that moment. And I'm sure he must have been so proud of you and proud of the work that you've done to get to that point.
Yeah,
That is amazing. And I mean, at that youth level, you were part of the Nigeria under 20 setup before the 2019 under 20 World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, it was in Germany.
Mm,
It was a training camp. I think even before that time, I was invited in Nigeria as well. This is where I met one of my good friends, Akko Adams.
mm,
From that day on, still had contact, and when we met in Germany as well, he's just really my guy. Um, and also like also because he comes from a different background. He's telling me his stories. I'm telling him my stories. And at the end, we're all human beings, just footballers enjoying our time. Um, and yeah, that time for me was a very proud moment. Um, the time we had a match. I think we had a match. I can't remember against who. It was a friendly match just before we started to move to the World Cup. Um, I got like a knock on I can't remember. I think around my knee, and I had to go back to the club to do like MRI. And they were telling me not to risk anything because it's going to be too riskful as well as the next season I was going to join the first team. So for me, it was like it's a missed opportunity as well. But sometimes God just has His way that He works.
Yeah. Because I mean, you still have a long future ahead. So as much as you want to play, you don't want to risk your long term career. But I mean, when we look at most Nigerian players that were born abroad, a lot of them played for the youth teams of whatever country that they were born in. So why was your case different? Is it something that you just always wanted to represent Nigeria? How come you ended up playing or being part of the youth setup in Nigeria?
Like I said before, it first started for me when I saw the set of Mika on the
Yeah.
20 when I was small, like I was 5 years old. I always said to my dad, one day I need to play for the Nigerian national team. And also the injury that I got at the early stage. So I was out for a long while. Coming back, I was already 18, 19.
Mm.
Um, so it's just not really coming to my path for the national team. We've had some talks, but never actually went to the national team. And but for me, it's not something I really look at, to be honest. Because for me, even when I go back home to Nigeria, I'm just proud to be a Nigerian. This for me is the most important, and I think um, it's actually a dream, to be honest. Even the time I got called up for the under 20, I was so proud. I was ready to show myself and show the world what I can do. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. Hopefully, maybe in the future, I'll get a chance to show myself.
Mm, mm. Okay. And I mean, I didn't ask this earlier, but where in Nigeria are you from?
Owerri.
Ah, yeah, from Owerri.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. I didn't think you were an Igbo boy.
Oh boy.
Okay. Okay. When you look back at your younger self, what is one thing that if you could go back and change or go back and redo, or even one piece of advice that you could give yourself, at that level, 18, 19 years old?
Ooh, to be honest, no, I don't regret anything. To be honest,
Mm,
um, I believe that everything goes the way it goes, and at that age, I did what I had to do, and I couldn't change anything. It was just unfortunate that when I joined the first team, I didn't really have a lot of minutes. I've always asked them for a loan spell, but they so believed in me that they were telling me, no, just stay. Yeah, it also shaped me mentally, I think,
mm,
because it's not easy not playing when you're in a club, knowing what you're capable of. Um, but also in that time, I've also known some Nigerian players as well. Talking about like Chidera Ejuke, and through him, I've known Boniface as well because he came to visit as well.
mm.
And these are also like valuable lessons. Even when you look at Boniface, that time he was not really playing a lot in Norway. Um, and look, if I'm just so proud of him, the way he's just showing himself now to the world. Yeah, same goes for Chidera. He's just making his way through Europe, showing his dribbling skills.
Yeah.
And yeah, unfortunately for me, that time I didn't play a lot. After I left Heerenveen, going to Almere City, also in the second division that time.
Mm,
Um, I think I really had a good season. Scored 5 goals and had 2 assists. So we promoted that season. It was the first time in history actually for the club. And I was just happy that this happened the way it happened because I was like, I didn't waste 3 years for nothing.
Mm. Well, let me just ask you before we get into Almere City. You
Okay.
know, when you initially made your first, I think the first season in the first team of Heerenveen, you played 3 games in the league. You know, how excited, how happy, delighted were you to be playing in the Dutch Eredivisie? Because I mean, that's a league that a lot of people are aware of. You know, quality league. How did that feel for you to be playing in that league?
Um, I started to realize it actually a day after the match. Because I remember the coach calling me to come in, and I was just looking at him, not even sure what he was telling me, to be honest, because everything was just going in and out. I was like just hearing the crowd coming in. It was a hot day as well, and playing on artificial grass.
Oh,
Coming into the pitch, I was like, to be honest, I don't have anything to lose. Let me just show myself. Just play. I think I played a good game. I nearly scored as well,
oh.
which would have been great. But I was just really grateful, actually. And as I said, the day after, I just started to realize getting messages from up and down, family, friends, fans. I was like, wow, this is what I've actually worked for, years. I can now call myself a professional player, and now it's time to set new goals as well.
Amazing. But I mean, your while you were in Heaven, your appearances in the league were very sporadic, you know, here and there, few and far in between. So personally, did that make you feel bad, or did you feel like you deserved more of a chance and they just weren't giving you that chance?
I think every player thinks he deserves more of a chance, to be honest. But maybe my first season, to be honest, I also learned a lot by training a lot with the first team. I can't forget that I have played amateur level for a long time, and also adjusting to the tempo, the quality of players as well. It's not easy, but you always want to play more. And after that season, I was just hoping for the second season to be a better season. I just things didn't. I didn't think I really had the chance to show myself.
And then, I mean, you eventually made your move to Almere City in July 2022.
Mhm.
That was a big step for you. But what would you say was the toughest part of leaving Heerenveen that had given you your first pro contract, given you your debut? What was the toughest part of leaving the club?
I think leaving the people behind
Mm,
because I left my house as well, like from Rotterdam, my parents, and then starting a new life, meeting new people, new friends. This was not easy because I think that year we had some really good teammates. We were really bonding good. But at the end, it's football, Um, some people go, some people stay, and everybody's just there for himself.
yeah.
So
Mm.
it was not easy, but I was just at the end I was happy because I also felt like I need a new start.
I mean, going to the second division, was that something that you were excited to do? Or did you feel like, ah, no, I'm a first division player. Why do I have to join the second division club?
Of course, it's not easy because um, I know what I was capable of doing,
Mm,
but I also have to be realistic. I haven't played for a while, and even if I would have joined Eredivisie club, there would be no assurance that I'll be playing
mm.
because they haven't seen enough. So I think for me at that moment was the right step. Uh, Not only because, of course, we promoted, but I just thought like, okay, I just need playing time. I just need to get my confidence up, show myself, show my family, show the world what I can do. Not like only that teammates, of course, teammates will know what you're capable of doing. But now I need to show the whole of Netherlands and Nigeria as well, like foreign countries and fans what I'm capable of doing. And I actually think I showed it.
Amazing, amazing. And I mean, you scored your first goal, your first professional goal in the 22-23 season against, I think, top OSS. I'm not sure how they
Yeah,
pronounce the name of
top
the
boss,
club.
yes.
Yeah. You said you are a player, you're a defender, but you're somebody that likes to attack.
Mhm.
So when you scored that goal, how did you celebrate? What was you
Um,
feeling in your head?
well, my celebration was so bad. My celebration was so bad in my head. Like always in training, I was always bragging. Ah, guys, just wait till I score. You will see what I'll do. But when I scored, I think I was just doing with my hands up, like just like a fool, to be honest. But no, I was happy. I was just happy. I was just happy. And after that, I was like, okay, no. Even my cousin Paul Mukairu was like, "What kind of celebration is that?" Even Chidi, everybody was just texting me like, "Okay, the goal is nice, but you need to work on your celebration." So I was like, "Okay, guys, don't worry. For my second and my upcoming goals, I will try to celebrate better."
And I mean, that season went very well for you. Played
Yeah.
a lot of games, scored goals, got assists, and I mean, wrapped it up by getting promoted to the Eredivisie. And you guys didn't have it easy in terms of your path to promotion because you had to play the playoff against one of the teams from the first division. But I mean, you won that one fairly comfortably. You won both legs, but I mean, how did it feel, after taking that step to the second division and now getting promoted with your club and not just being part of the squad, but actually being a first team player, a key player for the team? How did that make you feel?
I was just really proud. For me, it was like, yeah, just to show everybody. I knew I could do it and I showed it. So I was like, don't worry, guys, you'll see what I'll do again. And it's not luck, as I said, I've really worked hard for it. I've invested a lot of time and they always say hard work's pay off. So for me, it was just confirmation of my hard work and dedication. And I was just really happy and proud, but tired as well because the season was long.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And I mean, what would you say was your favorite part of that season? Was it when you guys finally won and got promoted?
Yeah, but also I think during the my favorite part of the season was actually the playoffs because we're seen as the underdogs. We're like Almere, they've never played Eredivisie before. I think we're the youngest club in the Netherlands at the moment. Uh, Everybody was like, yeah, okay, they have some good players, but are they able to make it through to the final and really promote? And this is something that really triggered me, and I was like, okay, you know what, guys, we need to show the world, we need to show the Netherlands that we're capable of doing this. And we've had some crazy matches because there was this playoffs game against was it Vivi Vandal, and then I had in the last second of the match where I think we're drawing 2-2. I had two saves on the line,
Mm.
which brought us to the penalty series, and our keeper saved 4 or 5 of the penalties they shoot. So for us, it was like there's nothing that will stop us now for the final. And we took that confidence to win the final as well, and everybody was just happy and tired as well. And from that moment, we just kept pushing.
You guys definitely didn't have it easy. Your first round, you lost your first leg to FC Eindhoven, then you won the second one after extra time.
Yeah.
You won the semifinals on penalties, but then the final was the one that, okay, you won the first leg 2-0 and then won the second leg 2-1. But incredible. I mean, I can only imagine. I don't know how it is in the Netherlands. When you win the promotion playoffs, do they give you guys the trophy?
Like a small trophy itself, or like as a
Yeah,
club.
because like in the English Championship, for example, the playoff winner also gets the trophy. So I don't know if it's the
No,
same.
we actually got a trophy, but it's in the club.
Amazing. Okay. And I mean, do you get your own personal medal as well?
We got a small how do you call that thing? A small trophy, but it's at my parents' house.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. Amazing. And I mean, in 23-24 season, playing in the Eredivisie again, this new club that, has just come and burst into the scene and is now in the top league. Did you have that fear that, maybe we might be going back down because, it's not always easy for you to come and stay in the league?
No, I think I'm a very optimistic guy, to be honest.
Mm.
Um, it's more the fans and the people from outside that were afraid actually for Almere. And of course, as a players group, we know it will not be easy because it's the first time for a lot of players or as a team as well. And but I think the most important thing is just to believe. It was not an easy season to be honest because we didn't start off too well. But I think the moment we started winning games and drawing games, just picking points where we can, we tried and showed the Eredivisie and all the doubters in the country that we actually did to stay in the league.
And in your time as a player, you've played in multiple positions. I know you've played one game at centre back, you've played DM, you've played CM, you've played right wing, you've played right midfield, right back. What would you attribute to, this versatility that you have? What would you say is the reason that you're able to play in multiple positions?
I think for me, I'm just a player that likes to help the team as well. Whether it's a center back, right back, or left back, or even if I have to play right winger, I think if you look at my game, I know what to do in every position.
Mm,
Maybe I don't have the height for the center back, but I can be aggressive. Um, but on the right fullback, I just have the capacity to be running up and down, playing my man out one against one, giving crosses. Um, and even on midfield, I'm calm on the ball. Just trying to let my strikers have the ball and let them do the thing. To be honest,
mm,
but for me, I think the most important thing is just being available for the coach, whether he needs me on any position. And it might not be your best position, but the thing you can show and give is just 100% and just do what you can do.
mm, Amazing. And you scored your first Eredivisie goal not too long ago, actually, against Neck. So was your celebration better this time, or
Yeah, this
this
one
time?
was much better. No, I actually celebrated like Bellingham, but
Mm,
I just got a call back, just played it. It was not an easy ball, played it in the far corner, and then I just stood, spread my arms open, and everybody just started to jump on my back. And then later I went to the fans just to thank them.
Amazing, amazing. And I mean, scoring a goal is always I mean, I'm not a professional footballer, so I'll never get that feeling, but I can only imagine for you guys, it must be such
Yeah,
such a rush.
it's a big rush because the whole game you're under pressure, and then the moment you score, there's like everything just stands still, and all the stress will just go out of your body.
Mm,
You're just happy, celebrating, screaming.
No,
No,
amazing,
it's a
amazing.
really good moment to be honest, especially if you're winning the game.
That's always better. Because sometimes I've always wondered when you watch certain games, and maybe your team is losing like 3-0, and then a player now scores his first goal in his career. And now you're excited because you just scored your first goal, but your team is losing. So if you go and celebrate, you look very stupid, like, bro, like, you're losing. So, why?
But even the feeling is not nice to be honest. You're happy that you scored as well, but it didn't really contribute to the score unless it's like, for instance, it's just happened in the first half or the beginning of second half, and like, okay, guys,
There's still a
we can
chance.
still we can still do it. But if you score in the 95 minute, you just be like, this goal was nice, but I prefer a goal like a winning goal.
Mm, mm, mm. And I mean, luckily for you, when you scored your goal, your goal made it 2-1.
So the
So
feeling was, it was like, okay, this goal is going to be the match winning goal.
they equalized at the end, but
I had so much pain, to be honest.
uh, they equalized in the 94th minute, so that must have been annoying. But no, incredible, incredible. Okay, let's talk about the moment. This was a recent moment,
Mm,
and I'll ask you. Let me get your thoughts on this. On March 14th, you played against NAC Breda,
mm.
and you escaped a red card in that game for something that a lot of people felt like there's no way that you shouldn't have been sent off for the tackle. What's your own perspective on that? Do you think you were lucky, or do you think it wasn't a red card?
To be honest, I think I'm lucky, but it's not my decision, to be honest. I was just glad that I didn't get a red card, and it was not my intention to hurt him. To be honest, even he and everybody in the field, nobody actually felt like it was going to be a red card. That was the funny spot. But if you look it back on video, it looks worse. So I can understand the people, but at the end, I'm not the one that makes the decision to give a yellow or a red card. There's a far, so it's not up to me.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Um, and when you look at your career so far, I
Mhm.
mean, you're still, 25 years old. You still have your peak ahead of you. What would you say, though, so far has been the lowest, and what would you say has been the highest moment of your career?
I think the lowest has been um, the time that I was not playing.
Mm,
This was yeah, time of was it was just mentally it was hard. Um, and the highest has been my I think the season we
mm,
promoted, and also like even these 2 seasons because I've showed myself in the Eredivisie as well. Everybody knows me in the Netherlands, and they know my qualities and what I can do now. So I think these are really moments that I'm just proud of.
amazing. Mhm. Okay, I'll come back to ask you some questions about football, but let's play a quick game. Let's
Okay.
play a quick game. So this game is quick fire.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw questions at you, and you give me the first answer that comes to your mind. Okay. Okay. The first one: Who is your favorite Nigerian player of all time?
Of all time, JJ Okocha,
Okay. Who is your favorite Nigerian player today?
Osimhen,
Okay. Who is your favorite coach of all time?
Mourinho,
Oh. What is your favorite food to eat on the day of a match?
pancakes.
Okay. Who is your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Okay. If you can live the life of anybody in the world for one day, whose life would you want to live for a day?
My own life. My own life. I would not like that because I don't know the problems that people have.
It's only what we see that we. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could have a superpower, what superpower do you want?
Um, to teleport.
Oh, okay. Do you have any match day superstitions?
Uh, no.
Oh. How do you keep yourself focused before a match?
Just by knowing what I want to reach, my keeping my goal in my head.
Oh, okay. Nike or Adidas? Oh. Jollof rice or fried rice?
Jollof rice,
Lagos or Abuja?
Abuja.
Casual clothes or traditional clothes?
On events, I like traditional clothes, but normal days just casual.
Okay. Shoes or wristwatches?
Sure.
Oh. Champions League or AFCON?
Come.
Oh, that's quick fire. Let's move on. Let's talk about Nigeria. Let's talk about Nigeria. So, what would you say was your favorite memory of being part of the under 20 camp at the time that you were? You didn't get to play, unfortunately, but what was your favorite memory that still lives with you till today?
Wearing the jersey actually
Hmm.
on match day.
And I mean, you mentioned that you formed friendships with people like Akko Adams. Are there any other people that you're still very close to today that you had met in camp?
Um, I still sometimes speak to Tijani. Sometimes to Igor as well.
Hmm.
Um, but apart from that,
Hmm.
not a lot actually.
Okay. If there's a Nigerian fan that's watching this, conversation that we're having now, and maybe they haven't seen you play, they're not too familiar with you, how would you describe yourself as a football player?
I'm very passionate about my game, to be honest. I like to give everything. Have the ability to score and give assist, and I think that's it. The rest they will see.
What's the biggest strength that you have in the field?
My biggest strength, I think my resilience. Because if I say that I'll do something, I'll do it.
Oh, okay, okay. And I mean, do you still have that dream? Are you hoping, do you believe that you can get to play for the Super Eagles, the highest team in the land? Oh. And do you feel like you are ready now, or is it something that you're looking forward to later in the future?
No, I think I'm ready now at the
Oh,
moment.
Okay, why? I'll ask you why. Why do you think you're ready now to
Oh, it's
play?
a good question. I think if you would have asked me this question 3 years ago, it will not be as relevant as now because now I've had a lot of games on my name. I've played week in and week out for 3 consistent years now. Performed, showed myself I'm fit. Um, and I think I just think that I can do it. To be honest, it's
Mm,
not that I'm not playing and saying I want a chance to play, but I'm actually playing on the highest level in the Eredivisie now in the Holland. I know what I've done, what I can still do, and I think I can add something to the national team if I would get a chance.
mm. And I'm sure you see this on social media. Nigerian fans, when things are going well, you feel the most love you've ever felt in your life. But when things are not going well, it can be very brutal.
Yeah.
Are you ready to deal with that pressure, knowing that Nigerian fans always expect, they always want the best, and if they don't get the best, they are going to make their feelings hurt. Are you ready to deal with
Uh,
that kind
uh,
of pressure?
I'm ready, and I can even understand them to be honest, because as I said before, me myself, I'm very passionate about everything I do. Um, if I don't win, I'll be like, why didn't I win? Um, but I think the most important thing is you cannot lose on attitude as well, or not giving 100%. If you don't have the quality for it, that's something else. But um, I've been to Nigeria a couple of times. I've spoken to people there. I understand the way they think, and for me, it's different from Europe as well. But I can understand because, like I said, you need to be proud to be wearing the jersey. You need to also understand that it's a country of I don't know how many million people. Um, Giving the chance to play there is a 1 in a million chance opportunity, and
Yeah.
there's always people ready to grab your chance. That's just it. You just need to be ready and appreciative, and just show the whole of Nigeria what you can do.
You are right back.
Yeah.
So if you do get the chance, you're going to be competing against the likes of Olaino, playing for Nottingham Forest, one of the best fullbacks in the world right now. There's also Bright Osai Samo, who plays for Fenerbahce under your favorite coach, Jose Mourinho. Are you ready? Do you embrace competition, going up against these very good players?
I love it actually. I think it will even make myself better.
Mm,
Um, yeah, as I said, I just like competition. I have the passion and I know what I can do.
mm, Amazing. I like the confidence that you have. And of course, a challenge is always good. They say iron sharpens iron. So when you go and you compete against other good players, it makes you step your level up. And if there's a Nigerian fan that's watching this video now, hearing you talk about your ambition to play for the national team, and maybe the person is skeptical at, I beg, who is this guy? What does he think he can do? What would your message be to that fan?
To be honest, I will not have a message because, as I said, I know what I can do.
Mm,
Um, if you have the time, just watch and
mm,
you'll see.
mm. Okay. What if the head coach, Eric Shell, is
Mhm.
watching this now? What would you say to the coach to make him really feel like you're somebody that can add? He will still have to watch your games, but what can you say to make him feel like you're somebody that can add value to his squad?
This is hard to say because I'm actually not really a man of words. I just like to show. Um, but as I said, I'm passionate about football. Um, and I'm willing to do everything. I'm willing to give my body everything to play for the national team. And wear the emblem of Nigeria.
Okay, okay. And hopefully they see this video. Hopefully, they watch you more. And if you get your chance, you make sure you give your all. Let them not come back and say, EaglesTracker, you're the one that told us about this guy.
Trust me, I will not disappoint you. I'm sure.
Okay, okay. Let's do something quickly. Quick activity. I want you to build your Super Eagles five-a-side team. So, out of the current crop of players that we have, you're the coach, so you're not on the team.
Okay.
Who would be your starting five players?
Okay. Mwabali, of course, in goal.
Okay, Ingo.
Um, And I think I'll have a two-man defense of Ekong and okay, Ekong and Olana,
Okay.
and then I'll play with Boniface.
Mm.
Um, I'll play with Osimhen and let me see. Yeah, the African best player. I need I need to play.
Look what. Yeah.
Yeah, the more I look at him, I need to play. I think this is I'll play Boniface on 10 because he's a joker, you know.
Well, I mean, solid squad. I mean, Umabali, we know what he does in goal. Ekong, solid defender. Olaino is a good defender, but also a ball playing defender. Then Boniface. I mean, I'm just imagining Victor Boniface in a five-a-side situation. He will cook. Boniface will cook in five-a-side because we know he's very skillful. He's good on the ball. And then Osime, goals. That one, no questions asked. And then Ademola Lukman also just dynamic player all around, can use the ball, can create, can score by himself. So that's a solid squad. I'll give you your props on that one. Okay, we're coming towards the end of the conversation.
Okay,
So let me ask you a little bit about off the field.
okay.
When you're not playing football, what are some things that you do to keep yourself entertained, to keep yourself busy?
Like if it's in the evening and there's matches, I would love to watch matches as well, like Champions League games or international games. But all that I like to watch some series or some anime. Uh, uh, play sometimes. Recently, I've not been playing PlayStation too much,
Mm,
but normally I used to do it.
okay. What game do you are you usually just playing FIFA or do you play like other games?
Mostly FIFA or sometimes Dragon Ball Z.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, you said you like anime, so okay, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
You had also mentioned that your cousin is Paul Mukairu. Paul Mukairu is currently playing for Boluspor in Turkey. You know, how do you guys encourage each other? How do you guys support each other in your football journeys?
I think I'm trying to watch all his matches if possible, like on TV. And then after we'll call each other like, okay, remember this chance? Why didn't you come inside? Or why didn't you do this and that? And same goes for him, you know. We're just trying to keep each other sharp and just make sure we reach the top.
Oh, yeah, amazing. Um, I saw on your LinkedIn you talk about wanting to collaborate, wanting to do different things. So, what kind of post football thing would you like to do? Do you still want to remain in the sports when you're done, or would you want to become a businessman? Do you have some ideas that you want to pursue?
That's funny that you said you would have probably seen my post about the foundation that I started.
Mm,
This is something I just do because I enjoy it actually. This is but I think beside the football, when I stop, um, I've actually studied media.
okay.
I have my degree, so I'll maybe pick up my camera and
Hey, you come and do my work.
maybe we'll work together. No, but actually like to make content as well as making pictures and videos. It's just that I didn't really have the time at the moment now to be doing it. But this is something that really gives me joy.
Oh, amazing. I mean, our Super Eagles captain has become a content creator as well. He's taking views away from the rest of us. So I mean, well, I love it. I love when football players, have off the field interest, and even while you're still playing, because something like what I was referring to, what Ekong does, it gives fans a different perspective. Because normally we only see the 90 minutes on the field, and then
Mm.
people will just conclude about as if they know everything about a football player because maybe they saw you shouting at somebody. Also, he's just an angry guy, whatever. But then when you can get to see a little bit of the off the field life of a player, you see how they spend their day, you see how they relate with their friends, their
Yeah,
family. It
yeah,
gives you a better
it's
perspective.
it's really different. Even when I speak to people outside, they'll be like, "Yeah, it's a nice life. Of course, it's a nice life. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, you have to play in the weekend." And then I'll be like, "But do you know what I'm doing during the week? Actually?"
Mm.
I say, "Because I don't actually have a weekend. I'm an entertainer. Um, I'm working during the week. It's actually a 9 to 5 job. That's the funniest thing. It's actually a 9 to 5 job. Um, sometimes even longer because when you have interviews or you have to do like an activity for the kids in the area,
And I mean, you have to travel a lot as well.
yeah, you have to travel. And I'm lucky that Holland is a small country, so you don't have to travel too long. But imagine a bigger country like France, you'll be traveling 5, 6 hours.
Mm.
But yeah, these are just things, you don't have a lot of rest. And but I don't see football as my job, to be honest. Um, for me, it's my hobby, and I'm just grateful that I'm doing it. So this
Mm.
is what actually keeps me going and pushing. So when people tell me, "Yeah, football is just an easy job," I'll be like, "No problem, you're right."
No. The thing is, I feel like from a fan's perspective, the way a lot of fans look at it is, no, everybody knows that to become a professional footballer is not easy. You work constantly, even to play, you risk injury. You cannot, like me now, once I get off this call, if I want, I can go and eat any food that I want. But you can't just eat anything. You have to maintain a certain weight. You have to watch your body, so those are the difficult parts. But I think when it comes to fans always say, well, you are getting paid what somebody is making in a year is what you are making in a month, so they're just like, why are you complaining?
Yeah.
Anybody, will take that kind of this thing. But it's all about perspective. It's all about balance. Nothing. The reality of it, I look at it that no job in the world is easy. Everybody is just blessed. Everybody is gifted at different things. Somebody might be good at media. Another person is good at playing football. Another person is good at math. Another person is good at business. Everybody just has different gifts, and you just have to apply yourself. Whatever gift you are given, you have to apply yourself and work as hard as possible to be the best that you can. Um, Okay, so in your locker room, in your club, do you bring some Nigerian vibes to them, the music,
Gosh,
things like
gosh.
that?
I need to know. In the Netherlands, like Nigerian music is really popular here, so
Mm,
it's even the Dutch guys they enjoy it.
mm,
So it's not too hard. It's not like I'm bringing African food for them, but we have some African players as well. So sometimes we just go to Amsterdam and eat in some African restaurants.
Okay, let's play one game. Let's play one game. This game is Would You Rather. So I'm going to give you options and then you just tell me which one you'd rather. The first one, speaking of music, Wizkid, Davido, Burna Boy. Who would you rather?
Old whiskey.
The old Wizkid. Okay. You like to score goals.
Yeah.
So would you rather score a 30-yard screamer or you dribble four players and you score?
30-yard screamer.
Okay. Keep a clean sheet or score a goal.
Keep a clean sheet. Well,
Mm.
wait. Let me wait. It depends. Is it going to end 0-0 or am I going to score those one
Eh,
zero?
I don't know.
Okay, no problem. In that case, I'm a defender, so keep a clean sheet.
Okay. Would you rather score a goal or get an assist?
Go.
Mm. Would you rather be the best player for the worst team in your league or the worst player for the best team in your league?
I'd rather be the best player in the worst. Yeah, that
Okay.
scenario.
Would you rather win a game 1-0 or win the game 4-1?
4-1 because we're entertaining the fans.
Okay. Would you rather you play on the same team with your best friend and you lose the game, or you play against your best friend, you win the game?
There's nothing more sweet than beating your best friend.
Yeah. Okay. Keep a clean sheet every home game of the season, or keep a clean sheet every away game of the season.
Uh, keep a clean sheet every home game
Okay. Play in the rain or play in the snow.
in the rain. The snow is not nice.
Play in extreme cold or play in extreme heat.
Extreme heat.
Mm. Okay. Would you rather have your own signature boots or you have an award that is named after you?
Um, I would like an award named after me.
Always play the first half, but your coach subs you off at halftime, or you always come on for the second half?
Always first half.
First half. But games are won in the second half too.
Yeah, but I like to start the game.
You like to start the game. Everybody likes to start the game. Okay. Messi or Ronaldo?
I hate this question. Yeah. I'm a Ronaldo fan,
Mm,
but football wise, for me, Messi is the best player.
Okay, okay. Now you gave two-sided answer, but we'll allow it. We'll allow it. Okay. Final set of questions before I let you go. Now, looking forward to the future, I mean, you're 25, you still have Ronaldo is still playing at 40, so you can still play another 15 years if you want.
Mhm.
Um, what are some of the ambitions, some of the goals that you have for yourself, looking forward in your career?
Like I said before, not only playing for the national team, but it will actually be nice winning the AFCON. Playing a World Cup as well. This is something that I've been telling my teammates for years. Like, I was like, guys, trust me, I'll be there. um, and stay fit. I think this is one of the most underrated things. Just to stay fit and healthy and happy.
Do you have a dream club that you would love to play for one day?
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Okay, Enzo Maresca. I hope you are watching. If you sign for Chelsea right now, they will play you in midfield because Maresca is doing one thing with his is playing Rich James as a midfielder.
As I said, for me, I don't care. As
He'll
long as
play
I'll
anyway.
play, I'll do my best.
Okay. So you said when I asked you earlier about the players that you watched, you said you watched a lot of Danny Alves as a fullback. So what parts of his game particularly have you tried to take and put into your own game?
Especially his attacking part. Trying to pass his man. Trying to look for a free space to help his attackers. Um, Also like being calm on the ball. But we don't need to forget that Daniel Alves was a good defender as well. Don't forget the deals he had with Ronaldo before. When he
Yeah.
needs to be hard, he will be hard.
Yeah.
On the pitch, I love him.
Oh, okay. If there's a young Nigerian kid that's watching you, that's listening to you, the person dreams of being a professional footballer, they're just coming up. What's your advice for that kid?
Believe in yourself. Um, but also be open for advice. I think this is a problem of a lot of young guys. They think they know it better. If there's someone that has good experience or is like an experienced footballer that has been retired and is telling you something, just listen and dare to ask questions.
Um, and I mean, now one thing that I like to do on my show is when I have a guest, I like to get the guest to leave me a question for the next guest. So the question that I have for you from our previous guest, he's asking if you are playing in a cup final, you
Okay.
know, let's imagine maybe the AFCON final, for example. And in the 90th minute of the game, we have a penalty and they ask you to step up and take the penalty. Would you have the confidence to do so, or would you step back and ask someone else to take it?
I'll do it.
You do it.
I'll,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'll do
But
it.
that means if you score, you take all the praise. But if you miss, your Twitter, your social media for the next 1 week.
I know, but yeah, I think football and even life is a risk. And if you
Mm.
don't take the risk, you don't know what
Yeah,
will come out.
sure. Okay. So now can you give me a question that I can ask my next guest?
Okay. Okay. I was actually discussing this with a teammate of mine today.
Mm.
Um, it's the last second of the second half. Your team is winning 1-0. Or no, let's say your country is winning 1-0. Would you do the same thing Suarez did against?
Against Ghana?
Yeah.
So would you take that red card penalty? Okay, good one. All
No,
right.
no, knowing that is the half final, so you will miss the final.
Okay, so you will miss the final if you take the red card.
Yeah.
Would you? Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because that incident, the whole of Africa hated Suarez for a decade because of that. Because
But
of
he's a
that.
hero in his country, to be honest.
Well, he's a hero in his country. Yeah, so it's a two-sided thing. A hero in your country, but hated by the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Okay, good one, good one. Okay, another thing now that I always do is now that you've been here, you've spoken to me. Hopefully, you've enjoyed,
No, no, it
talking
was a
to
nice
me
conversation,
as
actually.
well. Can you now recommend me one guest that you think I should talk to? But the condition is that you will help me to talk to that person to bring the person on.
And it needs to be a Nigerian.
Yes, in Nigeria.
Has Akko been
No,
on
but we already have something scheduled.
oh,
So it has to be somebody else.
okay. Wow. You need to think about this one, eh?
Mm. Or if it was not a Nigerian, who would you have said? I'm curious to know now.
An interview.
If it wasn't a Nigerian.
If it wasn't Nigerian, I'll actually do one of my friends, Zakaria. He's just moved. One of my childhood friends just moved to Deportivo La Coruña.
Mm. Where's he from?
He's from Morocco, but Dutch Moroccan.
Ah, okay. Mm.
Uh, yeah, and he has actually been in almost the same journey as me.
Mm.
Last season, he was the top scorer of the second division, and then he just made a move. Um, but Nigerian player, oh, I need to think about this one.
Mm. Okay, we can come back to it. But see, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I would like to interview your friend. You know, he's an African, so he can still give me good perspective.
Okay.
So that would be an interesting one. So now, is there any projects that you're involved in? Is there anything that you want the people to know about?
The only thing that I mentioned earlier, like I recently started a foundation. Um, it's not too big yet. But I'll let my fans know once I really start. I'll start posting as well.
Mm,
Then
mm,
just stay posted, and you'll know what's going on.
okay. And oh, sorry, I forgot to ask you this earlier. But in your career, you've won multiple jersey numbers. You've won 8, 6, 18, 17, 31, 2. Yeah, now you wear 20.
Yeah,
Which one is your favorite of all these jersey numbers?
number 20.
Number 20. Okay, okay, okay. And then what's your final word, final message to anybody that's watching this, to anybody that maybe now they like you, they've heard more about you? What's your message?
First of all, thank you for looking at this interview. Um, Hopefully more will come. Just stay posted. You'll probably see a lot more of me in the future, and I will not disappoint.
Oh, you will not disappoint. So thank you very much for taking the time, Hamdi. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to seeing what you do in the future. And hopefully, by the time you get that Super Eagles call up, we can come back to this interview and say, he said it and he did not disappoint us. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.